Hey, this is Bruce Naylor, and it's time for another installment of Talking Microsoft, all things in the Windows world. And thank you so much for watching this video. I always appreciate your comments down below. And let me know in your comments what areas of the Windows world you would like to see covered in this show. This is episode number 3, and let's go ahead and get started and kind of bring you up to date with what's going on in the wonderful world of Microsoft. So to get started, here we go. If you're not aware of this and you're running Windows 10, Microsoft has released a OneDrive universal application for Windows. I actually downloaded it and installed it. I wanted to show it to you, but I cannot get it to display in Open Broadcaster. I didn't allow myself maybe enough time to research what the right way is to display a universal app using Open Broadcaster, but I can't show it to you, but I definitely have it running. I do use it to a degree, and the reason I do is I use a accounting program called QuickBooks, and anyhow, I've tried to upload the database backups to this to Google Drive, which we use Google Apps for Business to power our small business, and anyhow, it will not upload those database files, but it works just fine on OneDrive. But anyhow, you know, a lot of people are not happy with OneDrive because they took away the unlimited storage and they dropped people down on the storage, etc. But I'm sure there's a number of people who do use it. It's got some, some nice features to it, though. I mean, it's not terrible. I think Dropbox is better. Google Drive, I think, is better generally speaking, but again, it doesn't work with backing up my particular database files. The nice thing I think about it is, of course, is the integration it has with Windows 10, Office, that sort of thing. I think that's what makes it really, really appealing. They give an example of how you can set a folder, maybe called Event Photos, to upload your photos to OneDrive and then delete them from your PC. The biggest problem that I know of with OneDrive is this situation right here, syncing your files in your PC together. For some reason, a lot of people have problems with it syncing. I've not had that issue, fortunately, but some people have. So I'm just putting it out there. It is out there. It's a universal application, the OneDrive app. It does work as advertised. You know what? If you got a Microsoft account, you might as well go ahead and get it and try it for yourself, right? So just putting that out there. Moving along, I like this. Don't like Windows 10? Microsoft just made it easy for anyone to complain, because the only people that could really give feedback on Windows 10 before was you had to be in the Windows Insider. But now they're taking that feedback tool and they're making it publicly available, so anybody can now report problems with Windows 10, and which right now there's over almost 300 million users of Windows 10 out there right now, and now it's easier than ever to do these type of report these kind of problems. You can even categorize them. If you got a problem with the Start menu, or they mentioned the Edge browser. Anybody using the Edge browser? Is anybody out there? I don't. Not that it seems particularly bad, but I'm already deeply hooked in that the Google Chrome web browser. But again, you can categorize the issues that you're having with Windows 10, etc., with this free tool that you can download and help improve Windows 10, which, I happen to be a very passionate user of Windows 10. I happen to like it a lot. It's got its issues, but that's for another episode of the program. The next story I thought would be very interesting to cover. Let me get to the top here. Whoop. So this is a story about Joachim Horn. Now, the thing that's interesting about Joachim, let me put this up there. We've heard a lot about the Internet of Things, right? Which is this all these interconnected devices. And the thing about these is it's just not going to be limited to, practical things right now, but also it's a way that you can learn and play and teach children how to use these things. This was the dream of Joachim Horn, to let kids and even adults learn how to create connected devices using a very low power type of Bluetooth technology to get everything communicating with one another. And Joachim created, I think it was called Sam Labs, and actually got sponsorship from Microsoft to bring a true IoT product to market. And so we're going to pull this up here now. And you can kind of see an actual example of something that the labs have come up with. Just covering this, and here's a picture of Joachim over in London. He brought engineers, designers together, all these people he's been working on for several years, founded Sam Labs. It's named for his brother Sam, apparently. And, he feels that the Internet of Things should be just about as much about empowering everybody rather than just this group of engineers and technology enthusiasts, and let them put these, build their own thing using easy to use software. And the mission's been accomplished because Microsoft helped incubate this thing and bring it and make it a reality. And here's an example of the blocks. And you can see the different blocks, and they, again, all these blocks communicate each other with a very low power form of Bluetooth. By using this specialized SAM software, you're able to program these blocks to do different things. Like if you want to build like a little car that avoids different objects, you can do that without any code by using the SAM software. I think that is really amazing. I love to see this kind of technology being embraced by Microsoft. I love the Microsoft Accelerator program that helps companies with innovative, great ideas get off the ground. See, a lot of people think Microsoft is only interested in the products they're working on, but no, they actually encourage other businesses to talk to them about their ideas and maybe help bring them to market, which they're doing in this case. And they've now come out with their first successful product. The next story I thought was very, very interesting. So this is from Paul Thurrott. And I know Paul a little bit because I interviewed him years ago. An extraordinary guy. Not always do I agree with him, but he'll tell you what he thinks. And twice now, Paul has been hired by Microsoft to study, to do a survey, a focus group, I think is what he called it, of people using the Signature PC. That's the thing. A lot of people aren't aware of Signature PC. If you're not aware of it, Signature PCs are a subset of computers by various manufacturers, Acer, Dell, a few others, HP, that are super clean machines. Super clean. They have just the basic Microsoft Windows 10 installation on them. Microsoft claims the most compatible drivers. These machines are tested by Microsoft for things like boot up time, shutdown, sleep, etc. That they perform flawlessly. They perform flawlessly. It's the best potential experience. This is one of the reasons, Apple users talk about paying that Apple tax, because they like the experience. They like how there's no crapware. There's none of this stuff. And so what Paul did is he took, I think he said 80 people, and they put them through different tasks. And they took similar PCs. One was a Signature PC, and the other was the mainstream PC that the builder puts out with all their crapware on it, and that's what happens. And then they had those users do different tasks. And those tasks, for example, how long it takes to boot out of the box, just doing these tasks, everything from the start menu, etc. And what they found was that when Signature PCs, were like 40% faster on all these things, they continued to remain faster than PCs that came shipped with all the crapware, not necessarily the most up-to-date and best drivers for the hardware. And it was a much better user experience. And what Paul says in his article is that it's the signature that can save the PC industry from itself. What he is saying is that he believes that millions of people that buy pre-bought computers, when they have bad experiences about Windows, they go out looking at alternatives. And maybe that's part of the reason why the PC sales have been declining. That could be because people have had very bad or not the best experience. You know, when you talk to somebody who doesn't like Windows, many times they've had a bad experience with a PC. They bought a PC that was not a signature PC, obviously. And they had a bad experience because of crapware and bad drivers and all this kind of stuff. They got blue screens of death and they were unhappy with Windows. But you're blaming Microsoft and they really aren't to blame. It is OEMs out there. It's the OEMs like the Dells and the HPs and all these guys who are looking for a quick short-term profit at your expense. That's why when you buy a $350 laptop, it comes with Norton preloaded on it, or McAfee, or all this stuff, all this bloatware, crapware, trialware. It's because of short-term profits that these companies can make. They scare people into, oh, if you don't have Norton or you don't have McAfee, you're going to get all these viruses and stuff. Even though Microsoft comes with Windows Defender, he also mentioned that. I have to tell you, I use Windows Defender. Good stuff. I don't have really a problem with it. The thing about Windows Defender, most people don't even realize that they don't trust it. Right? There's a lot of IT pros that do not trust Windows Defender. One of the reasons is Windows Defender is very quiet. It doesn't really say much about what it's doing. Paul recommends that they put maybe a little green shield down in the task manager, the taskbar of your computer to indicate that your machine is healthy. Just so you know it's there. It just is very quiet. Maybe Microsoft is too quiet. He goes on to say, just kind of sum up. Let's just go to the summation right here. His recommendations to Microsoft: better communication and educating consumers that the signature line even exists. And also, furthermore, there needs to be a broader selection of signature PCs. Right now, it's a subset of different PCs out there. But rather, try to make as many different models available as a signature PC as possible. Microsoft needs to be engaging with the PC makers about this very thing, and then engage across Microsoft. Signature PCs should evolve to being clean in his Spartan sense, offering more of best of Microsoft experience. Maybe offer things like a free Office 365 subscription. Why does Signature Edition matter? Why does it matter? It matters because it can show that, yes, you can get that same premium out-of-the-box experience with a Windows PC as you can a Mac, or a machine running, like plain Android, whatever. You can get that same premium experience with the Windows PC, and that's what people need to know. We're not talking about software, OS 10 versus, or the operating system OS 10 versus Windows 10, but what we are talking about is the out-of-box experience that so many people that buy Macs rave about. This is one of the reasons why we pay all this money for an Apple computer, because we're getting this amazing out-of-the-box experience. Well, yes, you are, because the poor person buying the Windows PC, say from HP, that's preloaded with a lot of crapware, they don't get that because they're kind of subsidizing that low cost of the PC by having the crapware on it. Of course, you can't expect the same premium experience when you start talking about that amount of price, but it should be available to you for just a slight increase in price or no difference in price whatsoever. This is why Signature matters, because this would help if there's more availability. If people knew about Signature PCs. One, Microsoft's not letting people know, really. They're not going out of their way to let people know they're out there. And two, when you do go there, there's not that big of a selection. So if that all got improved, hey, look, I get a same great out-of-the-box experience with my $1,500 Lenovo laptop like you would do with your $2,500 MacBook Pro, for example. Or my $300 Windows laptop versus a Chromebook, because I'm still getting that same great out-of-the-box experience. So it absolutely matters. Moving along. So now this shipping is Intel Skull Canyon NUC. And this, I actually heard about this several months back ago. Let's talk about the Mac Mini for a little bit. A lot of people love and are still searching for the 2012 Mac Mini. You want to know why? You want to know why they're looking for the Mac Mini, the 2012 Mac? They're not looking at the new ones. I'd really like to see how many Mac Minis Apple has been selling lately, because they neutered them, non-upgradable, cut back on the power of the CPU, non-upgradable memory, just on and on, right? If you love that small form factor machine, but you want something powerful, let's take a look at what you get for $650 right now. This is Intel Skull Canyon NUC. NUC stands for Next Unit Computing. Not sure if that's a marketing term or just what the hell really what that means, but okay. This is for $650, this was considered a bare bones PC, so it doesn't ship with RAM, storage, or an OS. $650. Bruce, you're thinking, that's insane. I can go get a fully loaded PC. Yeah. This is for the market that wants a small form factor machine. Maybe they want a home theater PC that's going to really last a really, really long time. Or, I was talking about buying a console. Somebody in the comments recommended, well, why don't you look at one of these for maybe hooking up to your television and doing some gaming on it. And I thought, you know what, that's maybe an idea. But this is for that person that's just as enthusiastic, that would like a PC to match and yet be even more powerful than the Mac Mini. This is one of the things. This shows you the lack of value that Apple gives its customers. And right here's an outstanding reason. Even though this is bare bones, $650 shipping right now, what do you get? Well, how about this? A Skylake quad-core i7 CPU, all right? This runs at 2.6 gigahertz and turbos up to 3.5 gigahertz. I don't know if it could be, I don't know about thermals on it. I don't know. But assuming the thermals are decent on it, that is pretty potent CPU. Accommodates two DDR4 DIMMs on there, so it supports a max capacity of 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. Intel Iris Pro graphics, that's the F80 series. So Iris Pro F80, get this, dual, that's two, right? M.2 PCI SSD slots on there, 2 of them. And those things are really, really, really fast. All right. Built-in dual-band wireless AC networking, Bluetooth 4.2, gigabit Ethernet baked in this thing. Okay, let's look at the ports on this machine. 1 Thunderbolt 3 port, right? You get a USB 3.1 Gen 2, so a Type-C, USB Type-C connector. 4 USB 3.0 ports, one which is a charging port. One, it comes with 1 SD card slot on there, 1 HDMI 2.0, and 1 mini DisplayPort 1.2 output on the video, which means in theory, if this machine could support up to, theoretically, 3 4K displays. It could do that using the Intel Iris Pro graphics processor on it. Now, that's $650. So they even go so far as say, look, load it out. Let's put 16 gigabytes of DDR4 memory in there, slap in a 256 gig SSD, and a license of Windows 10. You're at $999. That's the estimated price. So just under $1,000. And you're getting one hell of a potent little mini PC. You really are. Cortana, knock it off. Don't you just love Cortana? That's what you're getting for $999. Right? That's what you're getting for $999. What does Apple give us for $999? Well, we get a 2.8 dual-core i5. We get 8 whole gigabytes of RAM. A 1 terabyte Fusion drive, which, by the way, the new 1 terabyte Fusion drives have a smaller SSD side. That's what a Fusion drive is. an SSD fused with a 5400 RPM terabyte drive. They made it actually smaller. The SSD part has actually been made smaller to make Apple more money. Iris graphics, not Iris Pro, just Iris graphics, and OS X El Capitan. $999 there. $999, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gig SSD, a Skylake quad-core i7, supports 4K video. You can do some gaming on it. Now, this is the thing, and this is we're going to talk about that just in a minute. So it could be a nice little console replacement, nice and small, not very large. If you don't like the skull, they have it ships with a top cover without the skull. So don't get in a snit because you don't like the skull. But you get all this. This would be a much more powerful. So you really have to. Where does Apple really get the idea that this is an affordable? Yeah, look, they start at $499. It's not worth having. It comes with a 1.4 gigahertz dual-core i5, only 4 gigabytes in memory, which can be upgraded, a 500 gig, 5400 RPM hard drive, and Intel HD graphics. It's not even worth having. It's just not even. This is just such a. Why would you not want? If you're in the market for that type of machine, again, you're going to use it as a home theater PC. You're going to use it as maybe for gaming in the bedroom, whatever. Why would you? I don't get it. I really don't. By the way, I'm not an anti-Apple guy. I have some Macs, okay? The old Mac Minis were pretty awesome machines at the time, just not anymore. Apple, the point of this whole talk here, my point is Apple really needs to work a lot harder at providing more value. I mean, $1,000 is a hell of a lot of money for a lot of people out there. It's a lot of money to come up with. You must really want. I don't even know why you would bother with the Mac Mini. It's a terrible, as Dave Cullen, the Computing Forever says, it's a terrible shame. You don't want a Mac Mini. Avoid the Mac Mini. Do not buy a Mac Mini. Just forget it. Let Apple kill it off. Now, my custom gaming PC has a Radeon 7950 GPU in it and is getting long in the tooth. And driving this 34-inch ultra-wide display at fairly high settings on gaming is not working out real well. I'm getting a lot of tearing and all that. Bottom line is I'm going to have to upgrade my video card. But this got me looking, I thought about that Iris Pro 580 graphics on there. And, Intel believes that the Iris Pro graphics can outperform 80% of discrete GPUs. And that casual mainstream users don't need GPUs. Would you agree with that? I would. I absolutely would. I would say that casual users, what they consider mainstream users, probably don't need a discrete GPU. That's why they have APUs, right? I mean, if you're doing Facebook and you're watching YouTube videos and whatever, then yeah, you don't really need a super powerful GPU. However, when we're looking at the Skull Canyon, though, and the idea is, with the skull and all that this thing is being presented, hey, look at this little mini gaming PC system. Okay, how well will it perform? And Intel goes on and says 80% outperforms 80% discrete GPUs. Well, all right, what they're talking about is 80% of just the basic entry GPUs, right? So, we look at some things right here. This 580, by the way, which is in the Skylake CPU, does support DirectX 12. Let's take a look at the 580 right here and see where it falls. Just had it up here, right here. 1152 gigaflops at 1 gigahertz. This falls somewhere right around the GTX 750 and the R7 250X, which are entry-level discrete graphics cards, right? You can actually get them even less than that separately as from some stuff that Dell is building or whatever. But that's kind of the area it performs in. This GPU is not meant to run, AAA titles at max settings, 4K. It's not what this GPU is meant to. I'm going to just bring that up here again. That's not what this is meant to do. It's not what it's meant to do at all. But it is acceptable for playing most games in medium to low settings. Throw it up on your TV. That's what it's going to be good for. I think, number one, I think AMD is actually doing a better job with its APUs than what Intel is doing with its Ice Pro. I will say this. One of the cool little things is Intel QuickSync, by the way. That's one of the reasons why Final Cut Pro renders so quickly on the MacBook Pro. Because the MacBook Pro, the iMacs, for example, make use of the Intel QuickSync in rendering. And that's like a dedicated encoder for video. Keep that in mind. I'm wondering how easy it would be or difficult it would be to Hackintosh one of those Skull Canyons. Interesting question. I really don't know the answer, but I may look into that. Probably wouldn't be able to, but it might be worth looking into. But Intel QuickSync is pretty cool technology. I've seen it firsthand. And so, yeah, it is a beast when it comes to encoding. A very cool little feature maybe a lot of people's not aware of. Going on to the comments on this, most people agree that no integrated graphics processor is no match for a dedicated GPU, especially in hardcore gaming. Look, if you're into high settings on a AAA title, you're not going to want to go with you're not going to really want to go with onboard graphics anyway. This machine, like the Skull Canyon, is not for you. But for most people, it's going to play most titles, medium, low settings, just fine. They're going to have a great experience and they're going to be really, really happy with it. So, and then I thought I would just wrap up with this. And that is that Microsoft is now making the Halo Forge experience available for free for the Windows 10 PC. So what's that? Well, a lot of people love Halo. They love Halo 5. And so there's a tool out there that they're pushing out to the community that will allow you to make custom maps for Halo 5 and then turn around and publish them so other people can use and enjoy worldwide to the Xbox One. And this tool is absolutely free. Microsoft has added, let me bring this back up here, back to the top. They have added some things that people's been demanding, such as keyboard and mouse support. Can't believe it wasn't there before, but now it is. Higher resolution, and that you can test and play with friends. But it's built on the Windows 10, and then you publish to the Xbox One. It's kind of a cool tool where friends can get together and they can build and play and test maps on Windows 10 and then push them out to the world of Xbox One. I thought that was pretty cool. Wanted to share it with you. May not be interested in it, but I thought it was kind of interesting. And that's it for this edition of Talking Microsoft. There's always a lot of stories, a lot of stuff to talk about. I don't even begin to touch all the stuff that's going on with Microsoft. I want to share this with you, though. I believe there is going to be a Surface phone. I believe it's going to be released next year, probably Q1 of next year. I pinged Paul Thurrott about it on Twitter. He said there's absolutely no good reason to have a Surface phone. Pretty much Windows Phone is over. I disagree, and the rumor mill is really picking up. Yes, I believe that there will be a Surface phone released Q1 of next year. We'll see. We'll see. Look forward to your comments down below. Bruce Naylor, until the next episode of Talking Microsoft. Take care, everybody.